Hey everyone, and welcome to the race number 2 of the Bwoah Racing League. I'm Zataxa as always, and alongside me, Ruds. What's up, my guy?
Pleasure as always, Sarthak. This is a race we've kind of been interested since a long time, right?
Yep. And I think we both know why, and we'll get into that in just a bit. But let's talk about the quick driver swaps that's happening today. We won't see the likes of Rocket Man and Big Man Joe out on track now, will we?
No, in fact, we've got a pretty much rookie lineup in terms of season 4 at least. And both the Alfa Romeos will be having their first race.
Yep. VPA and stepping in for a Big Man Joe and Rocket Man alongside Avocado, who's actually the reserve driver of the Alpha Tauri team. So clearly Ferrello as well as Rastinish will be out on track. So Avocado decided, let's just head into an Alpha seat instead.
It's good. I mean, if you look at it from his perspective, he got his shot and he's willing to show people that, I can be taken seriously.
Yep. And we dive straight into short qualifying. Bahrain GP.
What are your expectations, Sarthak?
Well, under the lights on this track, last time we got to see some incredible racing action, to say the least. It was the second race of the Bwoah Racing League, the second time we ever live streamed the league race. Mighty fights going into turn 1. If I could put a finger on a possible prediction, it would be a new podium finisher, that's for sure.
All right. And speaking of your predictions at Axter, do you have any possible upset in mind for the pole position at least?
For the pole, I don't think so. I really think Pepe will get it once again. Race win, perhaps, depending on what could go down during the race itself. But pole position, I'd put my money on Pepe once again.
All right.
Yeah.
Because if our viewers are unaware, Bahrain is like the satanic equivalent of okay, I'm just going to call it tire hell because the tires don't last at all. I was trying to be polite to the track, but no. So you have your softs, which will give you the maximum grip, and they are the quickest, but they will barely last 4 laps. And I don't think 20 seconds worth of pit stop is, competent enough for 4 laps. So most of the teams will be running a one-stop strategy.
And first out of the pits is a Ferrari and an Alfa Romeo. It is VPA coming out of the pits. It's his first race this season. We did see him in a couple of races last season as well. Did he finish in the points? Will he finish in the points? Is something we'll find out going into the race, that's for sure. But I could see him possibly getting into P10.
Yeah. I do feel that Bahrain is a very open track of sorts. Because you never know who might trump and who might, because a lot of the drivers here are pretty good at Bahrain, and that is a fact. I think UK might do something today. What are your thoughts, Zataxa?
Yeah, possibly. He's got a different teammate today as well. Setu RC18 not being able to come to this race. He's got Thor, the reserve driver, in, and we got Mr. Wex out on track as well. So if anyone can, it's definitely UK. We did see him make quite a bit of a climb last race around. Yeah, possibly we could see him right up there in the top 5. We did see Mr. Wex qualify in the top 5 at Australia, and he did get caught off guard in the race as always. Unfortunate for him. Let's hope he gets a better result here today.
Yep. And speaking of getting caught up, we have a very interesting area for the track, especially like at the start of sector 3, which we've been having a lot of fun mocking and just having a general merriment. And a particular Ferrari driver is the cause for that.
Yep, Gouts. So, folks, if you all have paid attention to the league itself, if you followed the league itself, you'll know that Gouts last season was fighting for the realistic performance Ferrari seat, where there was a feature race, 3 feature races, and one of them was on this track. And the very decider was just making it across the finish line, and Gouts didn't by spinning in one of the sections on this track. And I think staying on board with him, he'll be going straight into that section as we speak.
It wasn't just some generic spin, it cost him the Ferrari seat, which is the most heartbreaking thing you could have imagined.
Yeah, and ironically, from what I've heard, yesterday's practice race which the boys had, apparently a bunch of the drivers spun on the same corner and Gouts didn't.
Yeah, some even say that the corner is cursed and that they are on their absolute tippy toes when they navigate the wide corner. Well, looks so far that everybody has, successfully navigated it, but too early.
Yep, too early perhaps. We'll find out who will do what on this track. SV11 at the first quick time coming on to the board, 1 minute 27.303, which was quickly beaten by his old teammate Sitnik, 1 minute 26.991.
I am really, really surprised even that there are teams who are setting their times on the reds, that is on the softs. I did not expect them to go for the softs, to be completely honest.
Oh yeah, well, that's them catching you off guard once again, and they do catch us off guard more often than not. Free setting in that quick time, 1 minute 26.516. Beat Sitnik's time. Also, this could be the brilliant time to mention that these boys, at least most of the boys, are driving on wheels now.
Yes, that has been the biggest talking point of BRL and RRCo in general. We have had 5 new wheel entrants in the league in a span of 3 days, I think.
Yep. And believe it or not, even Vix 356 jumped straight right into the race itself with the wheel just 1.5 hours after he got it.
That is some amount of dedication, and I'm sure that going off the deep end is probably the best way to get used to the wheel.
Yep, an exciting race is ahead of us. Free is currently the driver who's set the fastest lap time out there.
Yep. What I am curious about, that I mentioned, the Daxter, about people going on the softs, is that whatever tire they qualify on, they'll have to use that. So anybody who qualifies on the mediums has a good chance of making a one-stop work.
Well, we have seen that happen before, last season around, but then again, while strategy is a major player beforehand, no one knows what will go down going into the race. Turn 1 is a factor, as we've always seen. Qualifying is a factor in itself. We saw UK and Accelerate start from the back of the pack last time around.
Really unfortunate for UK. I'm sure you would agree with me, Zadaxter, how he was hindered in quali. He was hindered during the race, even before turn 1, so to speak. And sorry to cut my statement short, but I think Baby Shumi has retired.
Yep, looks like it, doesn't it? Could be. It hasn't popped up on my screen. Yep, it just did. After setting the 10th fastest lap so far with over 10.5 minutes left into shock qualifying, Baby Shumi, the second driver of Haas, has retired. Frosty won't be too pleased about that. He had a mighty start of the race in Australia, he was fending off Vic 356 pretty well. I wonder what happened to him.
Yep. I feel that he might have crashed, but he currently sits P10. He's 2 seconds off the pole. So my prediction says he might be diving down below 15th by the time the session ends.
Yeah, and when you see the likes of KDB, Chris By not having set a lap here, you can be sure that UK, it shows for me that UK is on the intermediates. I'm pretty sure that's not right.
Yeah, that caught me off guard as well. Known UK, he is known for his eccentricities, but I think this might be too much. Well, he seems to be in the pit, so long way for him to go. Even he's yet to set a time.
Yep.
B is on an outlap. I feel that he might put in a banger of lap now. And he's also on the mediums, so interesting to see how he manages to enter the top 3, who are all on the softs, by the way, so far.
He's coming out of the pits with 2 cars ahead of him. And we got the McLaren out on track. That is an Alpha Tauri and a Red Bull coming out on track along with Freeze. Can Freeze's time be beaten going into the last 9 minutes of shock qualifying?
I don't know. I suppose it could, because if you look closely, Chris Bhai is just 1/100th of a second off Freeze. And Freeze is just coming out on his outlap, so close call.
Yeah.
ADB begins his hot lap, by the way.
Stay on board. KDB on his hot lap of the Bahrain International Circuit. Sector 1 goes yellow. I wonder what that is. Pretty sure just a car going slowly to let another one by.
ADB has invalidated his lap, the Daxter. Oof.
That lasted all but a few seconds.
Yep. And I wonder if he will continue on these mediums or if he would go in for a fresh pair of mediums, you know? He does not have a lot of time on hand. And I don't think if he has enough fuel for another hot lap. Oh, has KDB spun?
Yes, he has. We just saw him spin in arguably the guard section. Yes.
Just the start of the call section.
Yeah.
Looks like the curse has started.
Clearly.
Oh, we had one more casualty there. Was that Sicknick? I think it was. Yes, it was Sicknick who also spun there.
Teammates spinning at the same section. Gouts, what have you done to them? He's sitting in the pits though. Gouts, Freeze's time still remains unbeaten, but Mr. Wexel, just as I was saying that, 1 minute 26.502.
Like I said, it was too close to call and it has already started.
It has, hasn't it? Tell me all watching, make sure you drop in the chat who do you think will come out on pole and who are you here for? Which driver are you here to support?
So while we watch the drivers go out on their outlaps, Zadaxa, tell me, what is your favorite part of the Bahrain circuit?
Well, it's gotta be turn 1. As cruel as people might think, I think we've seen last time around almost 4 cars going into turn 1 at the same time. Yep, a 4-way battle into turn 1, and they did keep it clean, but the second row of cars who went in didn't quite make it out clean. But Wix 356 has retired from the session as I was talking to you about my favorite section of the track, and I wonder what happened there. Seems like he's parked on sector 2.
Yeah, we can watch from Avi's. Oh, he has just done a 180 and he's in the barriers. So that's a damage retirement, more rather.
Unfortunate for him.
And for his wheel debut, things haven't been going so well so
Yeah.
far.
This means Baby Shumi will start at P20, Vic C56 will start at P19. So we don't have our pole sitter and the other driver starting on the front row, but we do have the drivers who start in the last row.
Let me just secure that actually, I think Baby Shumi will actually start P19 because unlike Wix, he has actually set a time.
Through that,
So Baby Shumi gains.
a real savior that lap time ended up to be, isn't it? At least by one position. And ironically, they see themselves together again. Baby Shumi and Vic C56. I wonder if we can fend him off going into turn one.
Avi setting the fastest lap while we were talking about these two.
And
He
right,
sets a lap time of almost 3 times faster than his teammate.
this is a bit mesmerizing, isn't it, Ruds? We've got a Renault 1-2 right now. And I just wonder if any driver can beat that.
When was the last time we ever saw a Renault 1-2, let alone in real Formula 1?
Yeah. I can agree with that, but we did see another close 1-2 qualifying. Seems like Alfa Romeo got caught off guard in Sector 2, but that was the Red Bull drivers, SV11 and Sicknick last season. But unfortunately, their times were beaten by Big Man Joe, if I'm not wrong, in one of the races, and it was P2 and P3 for the two Red Bull drivers. So that was the only instance so far in the BRL where two drivers have qualified so close to each other up that high.
Yes, indeed. And a quick reminder, KDB just set the fastest first sector. He's on his hot lap right now, and that will be his first time set time. Bahrain time, of course.
Yep. Let's hope he doesn't mess this one up, because with just over 3 minutes to go, he won't be looking good.
He needs to set a time. Yes.
Keeping clean going through sector 2. Can he keep it clean through the guards section of the track? Yes, he does.
Well, that was done very neatly, setting the fastest second sector as well. Oh, I think he's gonna beat Avi's time by maybe half a second. Maybe.
Staying on board.
He
with
might
it.
actually.
Yep.
What? Yes. Oh, I was close. 110.
1 minute 26.124 is the time to beat. Mind you, General Pepe's time's only given him P15 so far.
That is really curious indeed, but what I do wonder is that because of the medium tires or because he's having issues?
He just started another hot lap. Just over 2 minutes to go for short qualifying. I'm pretty sure a bunch of them are on their hot laps, a bunch of them are on their out laps, and I think 3 drivers are in the pits, which includes Avi, who's currently P2. Sicknick is gone and set a time which splits the Renaults. So clearly that's the wheel going into action there.
Some fierce battle on the top because I was expecting the Mercedes also to kind of be on the top, but Freeze is at a respectable P5 and Honing is at P13 for some reason. General Pepe, our gamers here,
Yeah.
he does not seem to be on a hot lap because he's not using his DRS. So I wonder what's happening. Oh,
Yeah.
I think he's getting ready for his hot lap.
Yep. Seems like he slowed down incredibly in sector 3. Exit the final corner, and I think we should possibly see our lap time for pole starting now.
It would be a tough catch because he's on the mediums, but as long as he finishes in the first 3 rows, he would be good to go. So P5 should be his target.
You really think he can't get a pole out of those mediums?
I would say he
Put you in
just
a
misses
spot,
out
huh?
on the pole, you know.
Okay. Alright. But look at the top 5 now. We got Sicknick. Oh, Vex or voluntary retirement, I'm guessing. Yep, I'm sure of that.
Yes, it was.
And top 5 is pretty much the racing points as well as the Renaults. So teammates are doing a good job. The constructors fight. Oh, lock up in the front left lock up there. Accelerate just set the fastest lap time. 1 minute 25.976. He is on provisional pole.
Look at the race went up right at the death.
Stay on board.
Imagine if Bahrain rains and Accelerate is like.
He'll be smiling, that's for sure. Yeah. But on board.
He might be
General
hoping
Pepe.
for it, you know.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he
There
is.
is rain. There is rain in Bahrain. Sorry for the dad joke, but yeah.
Please took the voluntary retirement, but across the finish line, he comes. P10 is all he could do, General Pepe, the man who was on pole last race, but Chris By with that late right hook, and he is on provisional pole unless Accelerates on a fast lap, which he isn't.
I think Rusty Nish, or is it RB Ferrello? No, it is Rusty Nish who's also on a hot lap, I think. Yes, he is. Let's see what he does.
P6.
Yeah, he remains P6. Mr. Wex has dropped down P7. He was P1 just 3 minutes ago. And look at the gap, Sarthak, between the pole and, P2. It's just 2/100ths of a second. Accelerate is just 0.02 seconds behind Chris Vai.
What a session, and it looks like it's a wrap. Chris By is on pole position for the first time in the Bwoah Racing League. We've got Accelerate starting on the front row, KDB right behind them, General Pepe starting P11.
But it kind of makes sense if you look at it. He's just 8/10ths, almost 9/10ths behind the pole on medium tires. So he's less than 1 second behind in race pace. I mean, in car pace, obviously. So I think General Pepe, UK, Gots, and RB Ferrello might have the biggest advantage going into the race. All on mediums.
Okay. Alright. We'll find out soon enough. Meanwhile, we will be right back. You keep me posted on the progress of the race itself while I sort stuff out for our viewers. 11 of you all watching, don't go anywhere. We'll be going straight into the race soon enough. Drop in the chat, who are you here for?
I think that the quali result of today was completely different from what we saw in Australia. A lot of underperformers, a lot of people who were just crazy quick. But I think that the one-stop strategy might be turning some heads around. I do hope that there will be enough action for both these strategies. So if it's going to be a one-stop, it will definitely be a medium to hard. And if it's a two-stop, we might see two softs and a medium. So the two-stop will be quicker on track, but you do have that extra pit stop. So I don't know. Would be interesting to find out.
Which we will soon enough. Stay with us, folks, as I make sure that stream is good enough for y'all.
I wonder what SV would be thinking, because one Red Bull's on the front row. SV would try to climb up the ranks in order to maximize the team points, because SV did mention in the preseason chat as well as before the preseason testing that he is focusing on the constructor standings above all, and he would like to fight for the WCC. It's so nice to see 20 cars on the grid, isn't it, Zadaxter?
Yep.
We had that one tiny, sinking feeling in our heart last season because sometimes there would just be 8 cars on the track. And now we do get to see a full grid, which makes us really happy.
It does. It's always the full grids that result in better racing, and better racing is what we'll get out here soon enough. As I sort out the stream itself, 13 of y'all watching, 2 of y'all just joined in. Who do you think will come on top? How do you think the race will go, Ruds? How will turn 1 be, in your opinion? And of course the infamous question, will Gouts spin in the Gouts section?
I'm going to say yes and yes. I do feel that there will be some chaos on turn 1. Nothing race ending, but maybe 2 cars get caught, I feel, in the middle of the pack. And as for Goths, he will not spin when there are people around. He'll only spin when he's there alone. That's what I feel.
Of course.
So we had our predicted pit stop strategy a while ago. You can start to, you can expect drivers to dive into the pits maybe at around lap 7 or maybe lap 9 at the very most for the softs. Whereas the medium drivers might even push it to lap 12 maybe or lap 13. This is not based on the pit stop strategy, but what I feel they might do, because the mediums and hards are actually sort of okay when it comes to wear, but the softs are just horrible.
Oh, clearly. And we should be ready to go racing soon enough.
The formation lab's going pretty smoothly. I think it's Avi who's just darting ahead of the pack, doing everything he can to heat his car and his tires up to the optimal temperature, but he's like way ahead. Has he already started racing? Looks to be. Okay, he's slowing down.
The formation lap as the drivers go through them. Let's just hope we have a nice clean race here today. Lots of fun, I'm sure.
But Sarthak, would you look at that? Baby Shumi is P16 because Avocado Thor VPA have set worse lap times. So that means my prediction of lower than P15 came true. That's all I'm going to do. I've exhausted my luck for today.
You'll find that soon enough. It's a Williams on pole. That is Chris By, while his teammate High Rocks 24 starts P5, real close. So that team is having a good day so far. Let's hope the race is as good as it has been at qualifying. Richu Saha, the TP, will be happy, I'm sure. General Pepe starting P11, our most recent race winner, along his teammate Baby Shuni starting P16, but it is time to go racing at the Bahrain International Circuit as VPA gets a jump start penalty. It's lights out and shoot down the main straight. Driver positions changing incredibly in the midfield as Accelerate tries to dive down the inside. He should get it done, and can he hold on to the race lead?
Vix and Baby Shumi seem to have had some issues with turn 1, both of them trailing right now.
Up and higher up, it's a three-way battle for the race lead. KDB trying to get into the mix of Chris By and Accelerate, and they're going wheel to wheel right in front of him. He's going to wait for an opportunity, and an opportunity he will get going into the next couple of corners.
Accelerate takes the inside line, tries to pinch Chris By out, but Chris By was wiser.
Holding on, just holding on. Vex has kept it clean so far, and there is contact between KDB and Vex, but so far so good. Bahoning will make that overtake stick, and he goes up into P4.
Some interesting first lap. Don't you think so, Sataxta?
Yep, and the lap continues. I mean, the battle hasn't stopped. Chris Pye holding on to that race lead, and he's gone off track. Horning has gone off track, almost goes in to Hydrox 24 there, but that could have just caused a mix-up. KDB gets a climb on position. He overtakes Accelerate there in front.
Luckily, there was no damage.
Chris Pye's, funnily enough, it shows that Chris Pye is running P5. I'm pretty sure that is a glitch.
It shows P4 for me. VPA has become P3 for some reason.
Yeah, it's the game with its tricks once again.
But Baby Shumi and VPA did have the drive-through penalty for their jump starts, which they are serving now. They're just exiting the pit window. So I think it should be fine once they're out.
And I think the game likes General Pepe too. It's showing General Pepe in the race lead a while ago, and now it's showing VP. And there's a Mercedes off track, and I just wonder if it's Horning or Freeze. It's Horning.
Any speed off track, so I'm gonna take your word for it. I hope it's not. Oh, it is Horning.
Yep.
Sadly.
Currently running P16. Huge mess up in the standings itself.
Well, I think the standings have fixed themselves because I can see the gaps now. So thanks for that, Codemasters. But yeah, I think we are back in business.
Hydrox 24 running P6. We got the two Renaults P4 and P5. Horning, unfortunate for him, he's dropped down to P15.
Not having the best of races, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's an AlphaTauri going head to head with a Merc. Ferrello.
KDB setting the fastest lap. The texture.
He's on the run, and I think UK should be all set and ready to pull off an overtake perhaps.
Maybe. But DRS has been enabled from this lap, so we will be seeing some good overtakes now. Yes, everybody in the DRS zone.
Who's gonna get whom first?
I think this is the biggest issue with Bahrain, because it's very easy to form the DRS trains. So for our viewers, the DRS train is when you have more than 3 to 4 cars just driving behind each other and everybody gets DRS. And since everybody has DRS, you can't overtake anyone, to be honest, except the lead. And it just continues each and every DRS zone, and that is so difficult to get out of. The esports champions know how to do it, but we don't yet.
And as it stays, there is a fight for P8. Rustin is trying to get ahead of UK with General Pepe right behind them, waiting for an opportunity.
VPA still has a 5-second penalty, so I don't know if he served his drive-through or not.
Yep. And General Pepe did try going into sector 3, and he will try once again, wheel to wheel with Rusty Nish. Will he dive down the inside? And yes, he does. He loses a bit of traction there and will have to give up that position. Rusty Nish holding on to P9 for now.
General Pepe is on the mediums. UK is also on the mediums. So Rusty Nish having to fight while being on the softs does not spell good. Oh, Rusty Nish with a 3-second time penalty as well.
Second driver to get a penalty so far in this race. 4 laps up. Chris Pye still in the race lead, but KDB is closer than ever.
Avi has been doing a fantastic job. He's been silently just, keeping his head down and going at it.
KDB with the front left lockup.
That's good. From him. Obviously not the lockup. I'm
talking
about Avi.
Because
no, I don't want them coming at me like, no, commentators digs.
Yeah.
I don't do that. The Dexter does.
Yeah. Oh, ouch. But General Pepe is on the tail of UK, trying around the outside. That's brave to say the least. But he will be able to peek down the inside. But will UK let him by?
I think we might see the overtake in turn 1 perhaps. Or turn 1. But I do see a lot of jumping and glitching, so you can be the judge of the overtake.
Yep, it's a three-way battle. Siknig, UK and General Pepe, they're closer than ever. It's on the main straight as well. Wex too far off from Harry Rocks 24 perhaps, but we'll find out soon enough. UK in the McLaren should be able to dive down the inside on Siknig to there, and Siknig should be able to fend off General Pepe just for a corner or two more.
They are on the next DRS zone. Oh, Siknig luckily has DRS as well, so he will be able to keep General Pepe behind for just a few more corners.
Mind you, Rusty Nish is right behind them as well.
Oh, we have also had Harry Rocks getting a penalty while we were watching this battle.
Yep. And Siknig couldn't keep General Pepe behind him for long as he loses another position. He's got Rusty Nish to worry about.
Yep, and I can confirm that Harry Rocks has a 3-second penalty, so that will be for multiple warnings.
And it's the Alpha Tauri versus the Alpha Tauri going into Sector 2, exit of Sector 2, and Rusty Nish holding on to the lead.
Only just, but commendable.
I think the last
I don't
time.
know if you noticed the Daxter, but P6, P7 and P8 are both medium tire runners, and everybody else around them is soft. So maybe we might see UK on the podium. I'm not gonna jinx anything, but just saying.
Perhaps.
Hoping the strategy works out.
Okay, and Ferrero did a quick switch there. It almost seemed like he's diving into the pits, but he came out on track. And mind you, I did see Rusty Nish perhaps letting Ferrero by. Regardless, what I was talking about earlier was how team battles on this track is not a rare sight. Last time around it was the two Haas drivers, UK and Setu RC18.
Somebody seems to have spun, and I think that is Harry Rocks who spun. Yes, it is.
Yep. Positions being made, of course. SV11 going into P9 and Rusty Nish running P10. Ferrero gone up to P8. What seemed to be a good start for the Williams team is turning out to be a disappointing one.
Overtaking UK. Oh, what a close battle.
I think we missed quite a bit of it, but switched right to it. Now it's a battle for P5 as he will be taking on Mr. West soon enough.
He seems to have left UK behind, but UK is lunging. Maybe they can do something in the straight.
It's the General Pepe here in the Bwoah Racing League, and you're in between two drivers, two seasoned drivers of the league. Can you make it through in one piece?
Well, I think UK and General Pepe both are getting DRS, so Vex will be smoked. Yes, he does, rightly so. Does UK also get the overtake? Oh, UK also gets an overtake.
Wheel to wheel down into turn 1, and yes,
he does.
He will. Mr. Vex lost 2 positions in a matter of a corner.
And while I was appreciating UK and General Pepe being on the mediums and in the front running, RB Ferrello is also on the mediums, Zataxter. And he's done a stellar job of climbing as well.
Yeah, and looks like good lad Gouts is taking a fight to a Merc driver, Horning, who's climbing up the pack. Funnily enough, it seemed like he almost let Horning by. I think he's being
Horning
cautious.
is also on the mediums. I had not noticed that because he was trying to qualify on the softs, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah.
That might explain his pace.
And as it sits, Gouts running P12. A lot of support in the chat for Gouts.
Gouts is a fan favorite. Maybe, you know how we have an achievement in most of the games of being the fan favorite or the crowd favorite and stuff like that. We can have something like that designed for Gouts because he would win the fans' vote for the drivers of the day every race.
Yeah, if we left it for the audience. But we're leaving it to the game. KDB almost had the race lead for just a while, but Chris Pye made a move on him, just like how KDB is making a move on him right now. Wheel to wheel through sector 1. I think they had contact, perhaps they did, but Chris Bwoah survives that one and holds on to the race lead.
There was a little bit of drifting from KDB. Luckily, he caught the car, but I do feel that, things got a bit too close for comfort. Wix, on the other hand, is not having the best of faces, Sarthak. His wheel debut was maybe a bit too soon for him. What do you think?
Yeah, I think I'm pretty sure he was prepared for this kind of a result. He's way off Thor himself. So clearly not a great day for him. Gouts won't be too happy about it, but it almost seemed like Wix 356 won't be out on track today. So I guess it's great to see him out on track enjoying the wheel. And like I said, to all the drivers who recently bought a wheel, and to UK and Big Manjo who also got the wheel only shortly before the season started, all of them will be in action in the latter half of the season. That's for sure.
He needs to be with a 5-second penalty, Sarthak, for speeding in the pit lane, and the penalties have started racking up. Freeze also gets a 3-second time penalty. Would we see a repeat of Australia's attack?
Let's hope not. I don't want that to happen, but of course, let's not put it off the table just yet. KDB with an early pit stop while Chris Bwoah is out on track.
I still cannot comprehend the fact that only 2 drivers were penalty free in last week's race.
And rightfully so. Accelerate. We've seen him do that in more than one occasion. He'll be able to pull it off this time too.
Very clean driver. Yep. You're completely right.
Yep. And the other clean driver was Chris Bwoah, who's currently leading the race.
Look at him. Also, thank you for pointing at the correct moment on Chris Bwoah. All the soft runners have pitted, except SV11, Avi, and Chris Bwoah, which is really interesting.
I wonder how this will pan out to the race result itself. 20 laps to go. KDB, who was real close to Chris Bwoah, is currently running P9.
With 5 seconds to add to his total time.
Won't be too pleased about that.
The front runners are pitting.
Yep. Together. Avi comes in right behind Chris Bwoah.
That allows General Pepe and UK to overtake, who are on the mediums and will not be pitting for another 5 laps, I think. SV speeding in the pit lane, 5 seconds. What do you think is that, Daxter? Is the pit assist of causing such issues to all the drivers?
I mean, you gotta learn at some point, isn't that right, Rhodes?
Yep. And you know what? I wouldn't even mind braking that hard because I am pitting the drivers away anyway. So,
General Pepe back with the race lead. He did lead most of the race in Australia and now in Bahrain. UK got a few time penalties, but running P2 right now. Eleven of you all watching, drop in the chat. Who do you think will come out on top at the end of this race? But right now it's General Pepe on top with Chris Bwoah with the cheeky strategy. He's come out on hards, running P7 behind KDB, but KDB has penalties.
Chris Bwoah trying for a valiant one-stop strategy, and I think it might just work. 19 laps on the hards. It is doable, I feel. Wix spinning right in front of General Pepe. We had our first blue marker, blue flag back marker. And yep, he has been overtaken by UK and Ferrello as well. So I think that was the last nail in Wix's Bahrain GP coffin.
Yep. And are we running P8 right now? He is on the tail of Chris Bwoah, who was once the race leader. This should play into his hands, and yes it will. Avi gets that overtake done, but he is on a fresh set of mediums while Chris Bwoah is on a fresh set of hards.
This will be very vital, Zadaxa, because whoever was on the softs and have pitted on the mediums, they will have to pit once more. So they need to get the gap as much as possible.
Lorenz in the chat says, go Gouts, nice climb. And a climb it is, but he's still out on 10 lap old mediums. Gouts running P6 right now.
I don't think he'll be able to put up a fight with Avi for more than one lap because Avi is on the fresher tires.
Forget one lap, talk about one corner, because he will get oh, there's a punt, and yes, part of Chris Bai's front wing is lost, and I wonder, is the end plate?
Yes, he does not have a left end plate, and the track is clockwise. I don't think him not having a left end plate is, the best of situations.
Yep, he went into the rear of Gouts, and he's got a hungry accelerate right behind him, and job done is what will be running through Accelerate's mind as he climbs into P8.
But it was never going to be a question of the overtake because without the end plate, Bahrain is a nightmare for downforce.
Surprisingly stayed out Chris Bai. He's probably saying it's just an end plate, let's just push as hard as we can.
Also because he has paid for the hard tires, There's no way he's going to be changing the tires, just going in for the wing.
Yeah. And Freeze dives into the pits this time around as we head to the rear of the pack. We've got a few battles going on, but huge gaps as well, and that's Freeze taking a lot of time in the pits, and I just wonder if he had a change in front wing.
Trying to dive bomb Gods, and does he dive bomb Gods? Yes, he does, but I think Gods has fun because of that. Has he?
Yep, he's lost position to Chris Bai. Yep. Fortunate for him, but he should be able to give a fight to Chris Bai.
Yeah, I think Gods might be thinking in his head that his fight is not with these two. He has to focus more on the people around him, on the net positions. Gods taking a wide line in the God section is all I needed to know.
Yep, Gods losing quite a bit of time to Chris Bai as Chris Bai tries his best to close in on Accelerate. Meanwhile, behind, the gaps are only increasing. I mean, beyond Mr. Vex, each driver has anywhere between 1 to 17 seconds gap, and Chris Bai could possibly make the overtake stick on Accelerate.
Accelerate gets a 5-second time penalty Zadaxter for ignoring the yellow flag, so the clean run is over. It lasted one race.
Chris Bai's clean run, so far so good. No penalties, but just an end plate lost.
Does not seem to be that severe on paper, but we know how much it must be affecting him.
Yeah. And 13 laps up. I just wonder what might result in the bunch of laps to go. 16 laps left. And General Pepe leading this race with 12 lap old mediums. He's got 3 other drivers for company. And only Ferrello is the one who's kept it clean so far. 9-second gap to General Pepe. And as we speak, he goes into the pits.
We're to continue. Maybe he wants a taste of how it feels to, lead a race, even if it's just for one lap.
Ferrello will take the race lead, but Pepe on fresh hards should come out somewhere in the top 6.
So that's his stop strategy done. Now all he has to do is bring the car home. Where? That remains to be seen.
Yeah. Horning and UK dove into the pits along with General Pepe, and they come out P9 and P10. No, P10 and P11 in fact.
We don't have any close fights going on, Zataxter, except Accelerate and Chris Bhai.
Yep.
They are right at each other's rear wings, not letting go at all.
I mean,
And Chris by doing that without an end plate is commendable.
to say the least. Going through sector 2, Crispa is just holding on. He's got General Pepe ahead. He's got KDB ahead of him. I just wonder what this race result might pan out to be. BPA with another 5-second penalty. As he dives into the pits, I'm guessing it is the same penalty as KDB got one earlier.
We are done with half of the race officially. 15 laps to go.
And Ferrero dives into the pits.
Yes, finally, his short run at the lead is over.
Oh.
It was good while it lasted though.
KDB takes the race lead. And has Chris By been outsmarted? Perhaps not, or perhaps too early to say. It's all going to depend on how many laps KDB will put in with these mediums.
Mediums will last him for. Whoa! I had to stop what I was saying because Gots just
Yep.
set the fastest lap time.
Yeah, something he can be proud about. 1 minute 30.160, if I saw that right. Gouts with the
Yes.
fastest lap time. Perhaps we could have him on the Thunder Lap chat, but with 14 laps to go, it's too soon to tell.
And that also is a very curious thing because the Souths will only take him to maybe lap 24. So him planning for a two-stop after starting on the mediums is a really brave call. But I appreciate that.
General Pepe out on the hards like we've seen before. Chris By running P5. And we got Horning and UK real close to each other, but it's UK going up against SV11 soon enough.
UK is in full force. Does he make the move? He almost did. And General Pepe setting the fastest lap times at Daxter on hards. Do we need to say more?
I mean, he squeezes everything out of that car, and SV11 swerving, trying to make sure that UK doesn't get the slipstream he needs, but he will get what he needs and dives down the inside on his good friend and says, SV11, see you later.
And move on hard tires over somebody on the medium. So hats off to UK.
And another lad on the hard tires fancying a position, but there's a punt and SV11 spins. It's unfortunate. Horning missed his braking point, I'm sure, and SV11 has lost position, and he will be not too happy with that.
Horning also lost his left end plate, so neither party came out good from that.
Disappointing. He would have yelled at the top of his voice, SV.
I think Horning was a bit too eager for that move, and SV closed the gap very, very quickly. And yeah, we saw what happened.
Yeah. Regardless.
Maybe the Mercedes curse for Bahrain is real. What we saw for Bahrain and Sakir, we are seeing that right now for Freeze and Horning as well in Bahrain.
Yeah. Perhaps they had a good result in Australia.
He's 16. Yeah, which makes this even more surprising.
And Chris By not able to pull through. I'm pretty sure he would have if he possibly had that end plate on him against Accelerate. Still sticking to Accelerate's rear wing. Let's just jump to Freeze as you were saying, because he's close enough to D Avocado. Another driver out here, first race of the season, stepping in for the Alfa Romeo team.
Right as we were mentioning Freeze, he got another 3 seconds worth of time penalty. So I really don't know what's going on with him today.
He's gotten the overtake done, so he gets P15 now. But right now, not looking too great for the team, like you said.
The front 5 have seemed awfully stable. Oh, Chris By gets a move on Accelerate finally with a broken front wing. I think Accelerate must be thinking to himself that he's finally found his match in season 4 in terms of 2 drivers, not just one.
Perhaps General Pepe within a second of KDB. As Avi is right up there, Vex will be glad about that. Vex has kept himself in the top 6 so far. As Accelerate fancies to get back his position, and Rusty Nish and Vex are going wheel to wheel on the main straight. Rusty Nish trying to squeeze Vex there. And
Keeps his position for now.
And the Alpha Tauris trying to squeeze the Renault, and yes, they will. Ferrello trying to take the position as well, just like his teammate did.
Not so quick, says Mr. Vex.
As it stands, Accelerate on the tail of Chris Bye. He wants that position. He had gotten the position as well, but right now, loses rear, messes it up. That gap will become larger.
I think we just missed a General Pepe overtake for maybe like half a second. But it did happen. I do feel that as long as General Pepe maintains within 1 second of KDB, he will take the lead sooner or later because KDB has to pit once more. Nish has been doing pretty good today, so that's so, isn't it?
Yeah, it has been. And Accelerate once again, close enough to Chris Bye. Main straight down the inside, he will go and should have the position. I think General Pepe is fancying around the outside of KDB.
Sector 1 yellow. Somebody spun. Yes, I think it's an Alfa Romeo who had spun briefly.
And the Vex,
General Pepe could make a move on the straight.
and Vex has given in to that Alpha Tauri. Couldn't quite keep the two drivers at bay, and they're set out for a good team result if they can hold on to P6 and P7.
I think Alpha Tauri will be the biggest winners of today, hands down. And Renault as well, for that matter, because look at Avi racing in the podium points.
And Vex is in the points as well. The Red Bull driver is in the points as well, so they have something to smile about at the end of the day. 10 laps to go, however, so let's not get too ahead of ourselves.
I do feel that this season the constructor fight will be much more enjoyable than the drivers' standings.
Yep, I'm sure of that too. As Horning, his closest competitor, Gouts ahead, and it is possibly a 5-way battle or 4-way battle in the midfield. Nope, two drivers have dove into the pits, Rusty Nish and Accelerate, Alpha Tauri and Red Bull. Ooh, that was a close one.
It has 5 seconds worth of penalties attached to, and Rusty Nish has 6 seconds worth of penalties. So them finishing on the top is very crucial. KDB has 5 seconds of penalties. We almost forgot about that, didn't we?
And Pepe is taking the race lead.
Yep, I think KDB can kiss P1 goodbye, at least for this race.
Perhaps. Our race is turning out to be. As it stands, General Pepe with the race lead, 9 laps to go. KDB running P2 and hoping he can stick in a podium position.
He does have a 5 second, he has almost 6 seconds of a gap to Avi, and Avi is just 2 laps pressure in terms of tire wear. So maybe if he keeps a lead of more than 5 seconds to Avi, he may be able to grab P2, just like Australia.
Perhaps. And the fight down the grid. Yep, Horning ahead of Sicknig. It's the two Mercs squeezing a racing point, but both out of the points this time.
Mr. Wex with 3 seconds time penalty for multiple warnings. I sincerely hope that this does not cost Renault some precious points.
Ooh, close enough, and there was contact. Sorry to cut you off, Ruds, but there was contact between Fries and Sicknig, but no effect on either driver so far. On the main straight, Fries should be able to get a move done. Yes, he will. And Sicknig loses the position yet again.
For Ferrari, for Mercedes and Ferrari for that matter, to get some points, because so far only Gotts is the one getting some points. Shumi has been holding his own, so that's really nice. He's maintained P16 throughout the race, but he is doing very well for his first race in his new wheel.
Staying on the topic of Gauts, he's got 11 seconds of a gap to UK, but there's a... Yep, KDB went into the pits and he's come out on softs.
KDB trying for the fastest lap as well as maximum pace.
So has Wex, so has Gauts.
UK... Oh, Gauts going into the pits as well. Nice. UK and Vex are on 3-second penalties, so all Gauts needs to do is get within 3 seconds of them.
All three drivers I mentioned are coming out on the softs.
Horning setting the fastest lap, Zadaxter. Could we see a final 7-lap fight from Horning?
Perhaps, but with that gap between S311 and Gauts being the gap between Gauts and Mr. Wex being 13 seconds, I doubt he can make up much position. I'd say probably he can get close to Gauts and fight for position there, but in the points, perhaps not.
Horning does have a 3-second penalty as well, so that would be really curious to see if he even manages P10. SV will be fuming regardless of who comes where.
And he's got Horning behind him once again.
Oh, I don't think that will be a pleasant sight to watch.
Yeah. But Gauts right up there. Currently, General Pepe is still in the race lead. Drivers closest to each other, SV11 and Horning.
Harry Rocks had a nasty spin, if you remember that, in the early stages of the race, but he has climbed to P7. And I think these tires will make it to the end. I hope so.
And Vex just got a move done on accelerate as Rusty Nish was hungry for position, and the position he will get of Harry Rocks 24.
It'll be interesting to see if the tires start crumbling, because if Harry has to pit, that means that Avi will also have to pit soon because he's on the same age-old tires.
Chris Power 12-lap whole hards. The only other driver on such old hard tires are Sicknig. And Williams and Renault go head-to-head. Vex should be able to get a position. Dives down the inside of Hyrox 24. And Hyrox 24 could possibly lose another one because Accelerate behind him, eager for a position himself.
For sure. Just like Australia, the mid-table fight has been the best today as well. No doubt about that. I think UK could try for P4. KDB setting the fastest lap, so maybe KDB can swoop in and approach UK because UK has 3 seconds worth of penalties. The Daxter.
Oh,
As
FY.
things stand, KDB will get the high position.
Yeah, Irox24 just pitted. Meanwhile, might I say, KDB has served his penalties in the pits.
Yeah, he had a 5-second stop and go, so he cleared it, thankfully. So he's free to race.
Now this is going to pan out, but on that note, if UK does get P4, he's got a time penalty which will cost him that position regardless. Because if he does come in and get that position in the next 5 laps, I mean, you won't see Ferrello go too far off UK either.
Not even that, UK might actually lose 2 positions in that case because KDB is less than 3 seconds away, almost 3 seconds away. So decisions for UK.
Yeah.
We might have to pit soon as well then, the Daxter, because he's on 14 lap old mediums. Do you think they will last another 4 laps?
Knowing Avi, he should be able to make it last. But then again,
Because
who knows
I do feel
what
that
will turn
nursing
up.
those tires for 4 more laps might be tricky.
That's Avi as well as no one else. So it's just him who's been brave enough to stay out on those medium tires. He is losing time, as we can see. It was a 9-second gap, now it's a 10-second gap to General Pepe. And looks like Chris Bai's gap to Avi isn't lessening in any way either.
And that just made me realize that Avi has somehow managed to pull off a 1-star strategy on softs and mediums.
Mediums.
The only driver to do so, I think.
Yeah. Let's hope the last 4 laps won't be a cruel one to him, as he's running P2 and is set in sights for his first podium position in the league.
His telemetry so far hasn't, brought up a tire indicator, so I think he's good to go for maybe 2 more laps.
And like you predicted, Ruds, I think UK will fight for position at the bare minimum with Ferrello. He may not be in the same position at the end of the race, but he is fancying a fight.
He will have to do his best to gain any position he can because the penalty will not be kind to him. Rusty Nish has a penalty, so his only competitors are RB Ferrello and KDB.
And at the back of the pack, Hyrox24 gets a move done on Sickening.
KDB still holding the fastest lap, so that's 1 extra point for him. Oh, we have yellow flags. Somebody has spun.
It is a Ferrari? It's a Ferrari?
Yes, it is Vixty Physics who spun for the nth time today.
Fortunate for him, not his day, but like I said earlier on, latter half of the season, folks, these guys on wheels, you will see them in action.
Avi's tires are kind of looking worn out from the onboard camera, so I genuinely pray that he has some life remaining for the last 3 laps.
Horning within half a second of SU11, pushing to the limit. Won't be seeing him pull off an overtake soon enough. He's got only 23% ERS or so.
And you need to remember that he does not have an end plate on the left side. So he's driving with a broken front wing. Did he get it changed? I think he has had it changed. No, he hasn't. Horning is driving with a broken front wing. Is he? No, he's not.
Yeah.
That was my bad. He has fixed his wing.
As he has 12 seconds, that gap has extended between Avi and General Pepe. But mind you, Chris Bai's gap to Avi hasn't shortened any less. And I just wonder if it's the result of the broken end plate.
It most definitely is because, like I said earlier, on Bahrain, having a broken front wing is detrimental not just to your cornering but your top speed as well.
3-way battle for position for P4 as KDB on the tail of UK, who's Gotta be careful while fending off KDB because this might result in something horrible, but he holds on to it nonetheless. KDB trying for position. UK, can he fend him off for 2 more laps? I doubt it. Down the inside he will go, not wheel to wheel for long. And next up is Ferrello as a fierce KDB cuts through the pack.
That was sort of to be expected. Mr. Wex with 3 seconds of penalties, so I think UK is safe in P6 for now.
Well,
Oh,
Horny
he was safe. Yes, the taxi, you're talking about Horny?
come on, Guts, finish well is what the chat says. And P10, chat? P10, Guts is running P10, which is not too shabby. Around the outside goes Horning of SV11 perhaps. No, SV11 doing a mighty job at fending him off. Horning just doesn't have the ERS he needs. He just doesn't
By the
have
way,
it.
the Daxter, I have some news that might make you happy.
Yeah.
Accelerate has 5-second penalty, whereas Gots does not have any. If Gots can get 1 more second, he might actually be P9 as well.
SV11, I'm so sorry Ruds, but SV11 is being incredibly aggressive. He just pushed Horning off track almost. He's fending him off in such might. It's incredible to see. It's pure SV fashion, as I'd like to say. He's braking late. He's making sure he doesn't get an ounce of opportunity, if one might say, to pull off an overtake.
SV is like, I remember what you did to me a few laps ago.
Yep, but he had to give in. Horning will get the position regardless. But yeah, to that note, Gouts seems like he's in a brilliant position, but if only that 8-second gap didn't exist.
Yeah, he has to bring it down to 5 seconds, and if he does, he'll get a P9.
But in the Gouts, in the points for sure, in the Gouts, oh my god, okay. The chat and us are pretty much obsessed with him. I mean, the Gouts section of the track exists as well, and luckily enough, he hasn't spun yet. As the final lap begins, General Pepe, P11 is where he started, Ruds? If I'm not wrong, P11?
Yes, he was P11, and like I said, that's all he needed.
Yeah.
Something in the top half, and he was good to go.
And down the inside of Ferrello goes KDB, who's climbed up to P4. Mighty fight from him as well. General Pepe going through the Gouts section, will keep it clean. I mean, what do you say? This guy started P11 and now he's running P1 at the last lap. And he will be going through Sector 3 as we speak.
This fantastic drive from General Pepe. For me, he would be the driver of the day.
Yeah.
That's for me. I don't know what the game would say.
Yeah.
Maybe it could be RB Ferrello, but
We'll find
I
out.
think General Pepe would take
Yeah,
the
across the last corner and the finish line for the second time. It's 2 times race winner General Pepe. Once again, it's crazy. This is amazing. Avi will finish P2 hopefully, or not. His penalties might just cost him.
No, he just has a 3-second time penalty, so he's good. I think he's nailed his P2 position.
He can be happy.
Absolute class.
Yeah, he can be proud of that. 19
laps. The Daxter.
Yeah.
Chris Bai coming P3. Fantastic drive on a broken front wing.
KDB making it stick. P4, Ferrello P5, UK P6, and Mr. Wex. I just wonder, P7? Will he be able to hold on to that? Because Rusty Nish is real close.
I think the penalties are in Vex's favor. Yes, they were. So Gotts has the first points for Ferrari for BRL Season 4.
Yes, finishing P10, Gouts. And he did not spin, folks, in the Gouts section. So you can be proud of that. Horning coming in P11, SV11 P12, Freeze P13, Irox 24 P14, Sicknick P15. If I'm not wrong, this order will not change. I just did. Penalties played into SV11's favor, and he does finish P11. But General Pepe, race winner once again.
I think that is a sentence you will have to get used to saying
Yeah.
the Daxter.
Yeah, possibly.
Yes, and I was right.
Driver of the day is him as well. Oh, I wonder who the fastest lap went to though. I just missed it going into the last couple of laps. And I wonder...
It did go to KDB,
Oh, okay. Because
if I'm right.
it's Pepe, Avi and Crispai. So we do see Pepe and Crispai once again on the podium. But a new P2 finisher, Avi, for the first time in the Bwoah Racing League, is on the podium.
That brings your prediction to be true.
New podium finisher. Oh,
Yes, indeed.
folks, that
So the
is...
fastest lap did go to KDB
Congrats.
at a 128.934.
Yeah,
Nice.
brilliant stuff.
Nice.
Brilliant stuff. 1 minute 28.94, like you said, Ruds. What a mighty lap that was. But of course, we will jump right into the post-race chat with our podium finishers. So stay tuned for that, folks. In just a couple of minutes, driver of the day, General Pepe, race winner, General Pepe. Fastest lap goes to KDB. Cheers, Ruds. See you at the next race then.
With that, looking for the next race, that is going to be a banger.
Like I'm not 100% sure, but like you have to take up the next.
I saw John Mbappe catching up to me. I was like, yeah, it's not worth fighting him. So I just like let him. He just went ahead anyways, and I just like
he
stood
had to.
behind him couple of laps
Uh,
just
he
to
had to
get
go
DRS and
fast.
all.
No,
Yeah,
no
I was
stopping
thinking that
Pepe.
KDB would also go for like one stopper, but he wait for softs.
All right.
Yeah, I was worried about that.
Okay, boys. Yep. Welcome to the post-race chat of the Bahrain GP, the Bwoah Racing League's Bahrain GP. We've got our podium finishers. General Pepe, who finished P1 once again. We got a new podium finisher for the first time. Avi on the podium, P2, and Chris Bai, P3 once again. So let's start with Avi. How do you think the race went for you, bro?
To be honest, race went actually I expected to go, lasting my medium stint. As you noticed, I was the only one who finished on the medium tires. Everyone else was on hards or on soft. So I was like doing couple of practices since last 2 days to see like how long I can make the mediums last. So the practice paid off, and yeah, finished second luckily
Brilliant.
as well. So
Brilliant stuff. Chris Bai, talk us through your race. You were in the race lead. You qualified pole as well. It seemed like this race was yours for the taking until you lost an end plate. Could have that been the reason for a dismal race, or how did you think the race went?
Well, I was actually aiming for P2 because I knew Pepe would catch up and get P1. But yeah, that yellow front wing was really hampering me during the race. I thought about catching up to Ovi, but I wasn't able to with that yellow wing.
Yeah, and podium regardless. So clearly, even the yellow wing didn't hold you back. If only that wasn't the case.
Yeah.
General Pepe, P11 to P1. Rud saw this coming. I, however, really thought you'd end up on the podium for sure, but probably not the win. But talk us through how the race went for you.
I was actually not expecting it, to be honest, because starting P11 on the grey race, turn 1, I mean, the whole of lap 1 is very dodgy. So I just tried to get no damage. I didn't even try to overtake anyone. My aim was to like overtake people after lap 3 or something, after the DRS, when the like race settles down or something. So I was just taking it easy, and I mean the strategy worked out, and I finished. I don't know how I finished, but it was a good ending though.
Yep. Clearly, your expressions are the best, sign as to what you're feeling. Talk us through strategy. 19 lap old mediums, if I'm not wrong, is what you finished in, Avi.
yeah, 19 laps old mediums. I finished in those. I had like 70% wear at the last lap on the rear left. So yeah, it went as a practice. So there were no incidents, no spins, no damages. So yeah, I didn't have to pit again.
Okay.
So it went good.
You possibly go alongside Fries, who was known to pull out the best on his medium tires. He did so in a race last season. So looking forward to the kind of strategies you'll pull off in the next couple of races. Quite the fights, Chris Bai, with KDB. How did that feel?
Yeah, they were clean. KDB was clean, and I'm happy that we had a little wheel to wheel during the race. It was really fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was on the medium tires, so he had a little advantage about the grip part. But still, I kept up with him. I'm really happy we did that.
Yeah. Great. And General Pepe, you did do some chopping through the field. How did that feel? Because clearly you usually don't, as we've seen in RTZH, but only one race so far in BRL. So I'm not saying anything about this league yet. But yeah, how did it go?
It was scary. It was just scary. I was so concerned that I'll lose my front wing or I'll have damage at the start of lap 1 or something. But it panned out lucky, and I just got through the traffic. That's it.
Right. Any one driver out there you really enjoyed going wheel to wheel with?
I think yes. I think KDB, to be honest,
okay.
because I think we went literally from turn 1 to like turn 4 or 5 at least, side by side. So it was really fun racing with him. Like we were both respecting each other, giving each other space. So it was really fun racing with him. It's always have been like in Australia also. So it's a good thing racing beside him.
Brilliant stuff, boys. Looking forward to see you in the next race. Next race is Vietnam. Will we see all three of you all out on track?
I'll be missing the race because
Oh, okay.
I'll be traveling. So
Okay. What about you, Chris Bhai? Will you be out on track? Are we?
Yeah, most probably I'll be there.
Okay. Are we?
Yeah, I'll be there as well.
Okay,
I'll
great.
be there as well.
Because from what I know, a bunch of drivers will be missing out on the track, so we could see an incredibly new podium unless Chris Bhai swoops in and gets the win, which seems like he just might after the pole position we just saw being set in Bahrain. But regardless, podium finishers, great stuff, guys. Looking forward to your performance throughout the year. See y'all.
cheers, thank you.
Cheers. See ya.